Hello and welcome to Take Time. I am your host Patrick Marlatt, and today let's talk about a little brand from New Zealand called Magrette. And that pronunciation is taken directly from their website. You guys know how much I cherish the pronunciation of words on this channel. Team Magrette, if you're watching this is a small side note for you guys. We'll get to the review in just a second, but you do have the spelling of the pronunciation of this word differently in your FAQ section as opposed to your Our Story subsection in the beginning. I'm going to go with the pronunciation as it's spelt out in your FAQ. You might want to switch the one that is in the beginning subsection. Anyways, gang, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a knit cap, well, I have hair like lamb's wool and it's really hot and humid out, so I've got a little bit of a frizzy fro going on, so please don't mind this. Feel free to leave any remarks on my knit cap in the comments section down below. I know you will. Now, this is a review of the Magrette Moana Pacific Special Edition that I have in today. It's a limited run of 1,010. It's to commemorate their 10-year anniversary, and it's very exciting to have this watch in because these aren't accessible at the time of this filming. They're on pre-order, and I was actually lent this in from a fan of the show. So thank you so much, Neo, for sending this out my way with the total packaging and all the additional accessories you purchased with this watch so that I can showcase them on the show. It means a whole lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to my audience too, so thank you so much. But as with all the reviews here on the channel, I like to start with the bad and then move on to the good before giving you my final verdict on a review item. So let's get to it. In front of us, I have the Magrette Moana Pacific Kara edition. Kara in Maori translates to flag, and of course the colorway here is in reference to the New Zealand flag, this being a New Zealand-based watch company. So we have various tones of blue, white, and red featured on the dial, handset, and bezel insert. This watch measures about 44 millimeters in total width, with a 53 millimeter lug-to-lug end. It is 15.3 millimeters thick, not as thick as I'd actually had imagined, and it has a 24 millimeter lug width. The movement inside this watch is the STP-111. It features hacking, hand winding, and a 28,800 beats per hour sweeping seconds hand. The movement also features a Nivaflex NM mainspring as well as an Incablock shock absorption system. So it's definitely built for task and lives up to the professional mark on the dial at 6 o'clock. Now, this watch actually comes with this Magrette rubber strap with a butterfly deployant clasp standard. The nylon strap you see back here is actually an additional option. And Neo, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I couldn't find the email chain where we talked about it, but I believe he purchased these straps separately. He purchased 2 and was actually sent 3, so that was really cool of the team over there to send him the additional one. It's pretty much lived on this nylon strap, and we'll get into why that is in just a second, but I've actually enjoyed my experience with the watch on the strap. The added thickness is sort of a null point because it's a pretty thick watch anyways and an ideal summer watch, so I didn't mind the added thickness of the nylon here. So the Moana Pacific features a 120 click unidirectional bezel with a ceramic bezel insert. The case and bezel itself is actually made out of a grade 5 titanium. You have a double-domed sapphire crystal on top of this watch and a stainless steel exhibition case back that I'll show off in just a second. The movement is actually very attractive, rested inside this watch case. Now, as far as some bad notes are concerned, the first thing I want to touch on is actually this rubber strap in front of us. Guys, I have had this watch for a little while now. I have not been able to get it on this rubber strap. I'll encourage you to go to the website. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can see what this watch looks like on this rubber strap. But if it takes me longer than 10 minutes to fit a strap to a watch, it's just not worth wearing that strap. Now, here's the thing. The rubber strap provided with this watch is very beautiful, and it's made to fit alongside the case. Now, because it's fitted in such a way, the fit is extremely tight, so you do need to cram this rubber up against the titanium case to get it to squeeze in, and for some reason I could not get the lugs to meet the lug holes where they're drilled. I would always get it on there and one of the ends would just be a little loose. You might not know this, but I review accessories here on the channel, and I consider myself somewhat of a professional of replacing straps and bracelets on watches. So if I have a tough time doing that, I can imagine someone else having a tough time as well. And Neo, let me know if that was a problem for you. It might just be the tolerances on the cuts for these rubber straps. Perhaps this was just a more snug fitting rubber strap than one of the other 1010 that are going to be out on the market. I had a tough time with it. It is something to note. Again, it's nitpicky, but it's something that I think you guys should know about. Now, you'll notice that there is a little loom pip featured near the tip of that seconds hand. It's supposed to, at least in my mind, emulate the shield, their crest that's featured on all their watches. The seconds hand is very small. I don't feel like it lives up to the scale of this watch. It feels out of place. I think they should have gone the way of Christopher Ward. I like how on their Trident series, they feature a very prominent trident at the end as a counterbalance of each of their seconds hands. It really fits the look of the watch. I think you guys could have done the same thing here. Really blow out that seconds hand, make it larger, make the emblem larger, fill out your actual crest and loom that instead. You know, take some pride in your branding, because I think the crest is very attractive, and I think it would have looked really attractive on this watch. It would have been nice to have seen a different seconds hand featured here. I'm just not a fan of how this one was executed. And my last issue with this watch is again on the dial face. Now, this is actually a bigger one for me, because nowhere on their website can I find information pertaining to the outer end of the dial face here. On the minute track, you'll notice that they relocated the water resistance rating, which is typically found in the 6 o'clock area of most watches. They've placed it on the outside between 12 and 2 p.m. I like that. What I don't understand is the elapsed time meter featuring the 10, 30, and 35 minute increments. Now, there's a lot of speculation on the internet as to why that's a feature here, and I don't want to add to the pool of speculation. If you guys have a clear idea of why that's there, I'm sure there might be a means for it in diving. Perhaps it's to help with decompression, but then again, that minute track doesn't rotate, so there's no way to line up that red triangle where your minute hand is, and you also have a rotating bezel here, so it seems a little redundant. I heard rumors that it's like sort of a makeshift regatta timer. Maybe that's true. I don't know how that would work in actual practice, but I don't see the function here. It's nice to see that they featured the colorway options on that added function around the minute track with the pop of red and white, as this is the Cara edition of the Moana Pacific. But again, I don't necessarily see the use for it, so a little bit of a redundant feature. At least for me, I think the average consumer is not really going to find a use for that either. And the thing is, it should just be clearly stated on the website what that is, and maybe I overlooked it, but I could not find it anywhere, either in their FAQ page and or in the product description for these watches. I think that should be clearly defined. Now, aside from those minor bad notes, I'm actually a really big fan of this watch, and the Moana Pacific has really turned me on to the rest of their collection. If you check out the link down below, go to the website, if only to look at the custom engraved watches. They're works of art, true works of art. They're absolutely beautiful. I would love to own one, especially if the cases are constructed and finished this well. Now, the second batch of these Moana Pacific Cara editions is on pre-order for June 5th, and these watches weigh in at about $685, and I think that is a lot of bang for your buck in regards to this timepiece. It's crafted so well, and I'd like to touch on some of those good points now. Now, I generally prefer 60 click bezels because I find that the action is more deliberate on those mechanisms, but this 120 click bezel here is extremely pleasing to use. If you need to gauge 60-minute intervals, this is a great way to go about it in day-to-day use. This is just a very pleasant bezel action. I also like this minor detail here with the crown. Again, this is a screw-in crown for this watch, but you'll notice that on the tubing, there is that little bit of red, again, a nod to the New Zealand flag, but the function of it is so when you're going to screw this crown in, it's very easy to tell when you've securely fixed it all the way in, because that little bit of red will vanish as soon as the crown is secure. So you don't over thread this into your watch. And you can see also on the back here, you can't see any more of that red tubing. You know the crown is securely in place. Also, if you are a fan of exhibition case backs, this is going to be a real treat for you guys because this one is absolutely phenomenal. The case back here features a custom installed rotor, again with their crest, and some relevant literature to this limited edition model. Their operation is based out of Auckland. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Auckland, New Zealand. So that is up on the top side there. You'll notice that it states it's made out of titanium. You've got the water resistance rating as well featured on here, as well as the use of material on the case back. Now, I'm going to leave our B cam on the exhibition case back just a little bit longer because this is how you celebrate the heart of your watch. This is absolutely beautiful example of an exhibition case back, and I think more companies should take design cues from this brand. Now, anytime I see a square-shaped case, I get the unshakable feeling that I'm looking at a Panerai when I see the rounded edges of a square-shaped case similar to this. Now, this is not to say that the Magrette is a homage of that brand. There are plenty of square-shaped cases on the market. What I am saying, though, is if you're looking for a Panerai, a more affordable option to one at least, this is a great, unique alternative. Now, I don't think that the font choice and or numeral layout is for everyone, the addition of those zeros in front of the 3, 9, and 6, but I do love how it balances out the dial. I think it looks fantastic. I love the tone of the blue on the bezel insert. There's really nothing I dislike about the colorway option here, and I do like that it pays homage to New Zealand. If you guys are looking into getting a Magrette watch, I think this is the one to go for as it celebrates the brand so well. Now, the total package is actually unique here because it comes with one of the best travel pouches I have ever seen come with a watch, and that's actually the last good note I'd like to highlight at the end here. This is the travel pouch you'll receive, and I'm sure that this is a design that's on the market frequently, but I've never seen it come with a watch in any price range. And I absolutely love it because I've actually never seen this model of case. It's as you'd expect, you flap it open to get inside. Your watch is held down here, as well as any additional tools or straps. But the best part is this compartment up top. There's this removable pouch that rests within the lid of that travel case. And you'd obviously use this for documents, or if you're traveling light, maybe you could put your passport, a small wallet in here, a cash clip. But Neo is using this for all his additional straps. And this compartment's so spacious and nice and made out of a very beautiful leather material or leatherette. I think this is a great travel pouch, and again, it just comes with the watch. So if you are lacking in that department, this is a good way to go. If you're trying to travel with one watch on your wrist, and some paperwork and accessories, this is a really awesome pouch. Again, one of the better ones I've ever seen. Now, before I leave you guys, I want to provide you a wrist shot of the Moana Pacific on a 7.25-inch wrist. I think that this pairs extremely well with nylon. I wish I could tell you what it looks like on that rubber strap. I mean, from the product shots, it looks fantastic, but I don't like to fuss with straps for that long of a period. My days are very, very short. I'm very busy most every day of the week, so trifling with putting on a strap, is not something I want to deal with. So I just didn't have it on the rubber strap, unfortunately. And here's what the Magrette will look like on a 7.25-inch wrist for all of your admirers. And when you are going to admire it, it's going to look a little something like this. And as you can see, I think it is an excellent pairing with that nylon watch strap. As a matter of fact, I think these square-shaped cases usually look good with anything that matches their color tone or is neutral in tone, and I really do like the pairing here. The watch itself sits very neatly on my wrist. Usually when there is a lug-to-lug width of 50 millimeters or over, I get a little concerned because I don't like it when the watch hangs off my wrist. But when you have a square-shaped case like this, it feels natural on the wrist. It never really feels too large because, again, the total width of just the case is only 44 millimeters, also in height, excluding the lugs. So it wears smaller than you'd presume. And here's a shot of the profile on this case. You can see how well detailed the case is leading up to that crown. I love the lack of crown guards here. It just gives a very clean look to this highly detailed watch. Now, if you're looking for a beautiful square-shaped watch, I don't think you can do much better from this group. This is an excellent offering from them, and a very special one as it celebrates their 10 years. Again, I think this model is really awesome offering from the brand. Now, let's see some more of those awesome engraved watches. If you can make one sub $1,000, you guys would have the most success, I'm positive. It seems like a niche market, but there are so many groups out there doing custom engravings. If they can buy a custom engraved watch off the bat, I'm sure they would flip out. I know I would personally, so I would love to see one of those guys in person, and especially if it was marketed at a more consumer-friendly rate. This guy, though, at $685, such an awesome deal. Gang, if you found this video enlightening or in the least entertaining, feel free to hit that like button. It looks a little something like this. If you have friends, forums, or groups that are interested in pronouncing Magrette right, or picking up a rounded square case similar to this, this is an awesome brand to look out for. There's a lot of new brands coming out that feature squared cases. You know, most all of my collection is rounded cases, but I do think there is a place for the square case in your collection. They provide a different look and feel on the wrist. I'm actually in the market for a square-shaped case. Not that I'm trying to check off that box, it's just that they're fun to have in the collection. Magrette provides some of the best bang for your buck on a real awesome one. Again, thank you, Neo, for letting me experience this watch. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like watch content, well, maybe this is the home for you. I do videos like this twice a week. I'd like to up that number as our subscriber base grows. So with your support, I'll know that I'm doing the right thing and we can continue producing more and more content like this. Again, my name is Patrick Marlette, and thank you for the time.